Again, there are two things. Number one, when you say that the people were telling the military to follow them,
yes,
the people don't give instructions to the military. So,
well, if you say the people don't give instructions, I don't understand where you're coming from.
How does that
because
work?
I'm coming. I don't understand where you're coming from. Because if Channels TV, where we are now, was attacked by armed robbers, and somebody called the police and the police came, when the police come, the first question the police asked, where do you think they went? If you point that way, the police will go that way after them.
Now,
that is so to say that the people don't give instructions to the army.
The thing is, when the police comes,
yes,
and for the police to have come,
yes,
you know, it means that certain processes might have been followed. But if you're predicating your argument based on what you just said, which is the people giving instruction, but that's
I'm not telling the people giving instruction. A church or a seminary was attacked and people were killed. And of course, there was distress calls, and the army who are supposed to provide security got to the location. They got to the location just after these people were leaving. And so the people told this army that these people that did this, they just left in this direction. One would expect that whoever was in charge of that convoy, the worst he would do is, with his phone, call his superior to say, this is what we see on ground, these people have moved in this direction, we follow.
Okay, but if the governor of Plateau State, after the attack, now requested a house-to-house search, you know, won't people ask questions?
I can't answer for him.
Why would they be? Did he think that that's the best way possible? And if what he thinks,
that's the governor. You see, for me,
because
I know that
right.
the power, the constitutional power to control the military of Nigeria is with the federal government, and the president is the commander-in-chief.
Do you think the colonies will solve this problem?
The colonies will exasperate the problem.
How?
Exasperate the problem. Because first, let's take history. The first colony that was ever given was given in 1804 to Usman Dan Fodio. 4 years after, he killed the king that gave him the colony, and this war of jihad started. He declared it. So if you give these colonies places, look at in Jos. I think it was Babangida that gave...
There is no jihadi war.
What?
There's no jihadi war.
Where?
You said jihadi.
What do you think is happening now?
No, this is not the jihadi war.
What is it? Okay, that's, you see, there's a lot out there. That's all. They call it farmers and herdsmen clash. Meanwhile, the farmers are in their beds and their houses are burnt on them and they are killed. They don't have guns. And somebody attacks them, surrounds them at night and attacks them. This is what's happened in Benue, Kaduna, Plateau, Nimbo, in Enugu. This is what's happened. There is no clash. There is killings. In Plateau, the indigents say that the attackers are settling and renaming the villages. Where's the clash? If there's a clash, two people are fighting. There's a clash going on now, as we hear, between, Cross River State and Ebonyi or somewhere there. In that area. That's a clash. Two people are fighting. In this case, they are not fighting. At night, with surprise, you hear the village has been surrounded and the children, men, women, and children are killed. And all that. There's no clash. So to say that it's a clash, I don't understand. So when you say colony, if you now give land across... Now listen, what's the reason for colony? You want to give land so that the herdsmen can graze their cattle. The Sambisa forest is twice the size of the whole southeast. It's twice the size of the whole southeast. So even if you gave the whole land of the southeast for grazing reserves for these people, it's not as large as the Sambisa forest. The Sambisa forest is an empty forest.
Does it belong to the federal government?
Yes, it's a Nigerian land. It belongs to the federal. It belongs to Nigeria, and it's empty. So if you wanted, listen, if I were ruling Nigeria, and my issue is cattle to proper grazing ground for cattle, then the Sambisa forest would be the best place. This president is recharging Lake Chad. Is working hard to recharge Lake Chad, which is drying up because of climate change. Now, if you are working at recharging Lake Chad, then also you should be able to create proper grazing reserves and grounds in a business format for these people, just as we have river basin authorities. River basin authorities are built around dam areas such that you create land fertile for farming, enough irrigation, and whatever the people need for farming. Now, this cattle grazing is also another kind of agriculture that you can do in Sambisa forest. First, I mentioned Sambisa because it's empty.
In seeking a solution, what kind of steps should we consider along the way?
First, you should change all the chiefs, all the military chiefs, because especially the chief of police. The chief of police, for me, I can only see that chief of police, as somebody who has no respect for his office or for the citizen. Because when you see what SARS is doing, and it just continues. I mean, it beats me. Because see, when you are put in a place, if you remember during the Nazi war, after the war, when they were trying a lot of the officers, some of them who said they were obeying instructions, they were still held culpable because no matter what instructions you are given, you are also supposed to have reason and capacity to decide whether this is just or not. The chief of police is, in my mind, key in this matter. You need to change the chief of police. You need to change the chief of army staff. Because if the army are not able to arrest this, especially these 2 days or 7 hours in Plateau, and the army are deployed less than an hour drive to the location where these things are happening, and those people deployed were not able to arrest. They've not caught these people. So no, you are talking about solution. For me, you see, when you put somebody in charge who is focused on a solution, these things would change. The Nigerian army is capable to deal with this matter. The Nigerian police is capable to get to the root of this matter.
Also, as a solution, the government is trying to see a situation whereby it acquires land for use by the cattle breeders.
That's the problem. For me, that's not a solution.
Let me just land, because if they do that and acquire this land by the waterways, which is being proposed by the president, do you think that it will work? Will it suffice to say that if the herders are settled by the waterside?
It will not work. It will not work. It will not work. Look, herders, what about in the US? Are the owners of the massive cattle population of America settled around riverbanks? They have their lands, they bring water to their farm, they grow their grass, they take care of their cattle. The best place, if government wants to deal with this matter, government should get land where there is land. That is, if government is the one doing it. But for the private cattle owners, you want to have a ranch in the south. I know somebody who wanted to set up a facility like a cattle breeding facility somewhere.
So the government doesn't have any right to acquire land?
I'm not saying government doesn't have...
For the private cattle breeders?
This is private business. I mean, why would you do that?
The government should hands off.
As far as I'm concerned, government should hands off from that. Even if you created something like you have the free trade zone kind of something for cattle breeders. You have to create such in a place where it will not interfere with the community farms. Because these are two citizens.
All right, that's how far we can go. Mr. Emmanuel is a former national chairman of National Transformation Party. Thank you for coming on today. And that's the show as well. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
And I'm Gimba Umar.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day. I'm Ajuri Ngilale.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.